In advance of the International AIDS Conference, the International AIDS Society launched the inaugural Global Scientific Strategy towards an HIV cure, a 7-point roadmap aimed at guiding the research community.
So we're launching a roadmap, a strategy. The International AIDS Society over the past couple of years brought together a bunch of scientists, about 36 scientists, and we've worked on a plan on how we're going to actually cure HIV infection. Now, the strategy basically lists 7 major areas of research that we think are high priorities, lays out some very focused questions. These questions span from why do current therapies not cure HIV infection through where does the virus reside during long-term therapy, all the way through encouraging people to begin to do early pilot clinical trials aimed at simply getting rid of the virus. So why now? So we spent the first 10 or 12 years trying to figure out how HIV caused AIDS. And then from about the early 1990s up until relatively recently, in the therapeutic world, we've spent a lot of time coming up with optimal drugs designed to control the virus. Not eliminate it, simply control it. And we've done that because we could. Right? That was an easier thing to tackle. And we've been tremendously successful. But we're sort of at the end of that process. The drugs we have now are basically as good as it's going to get. And we're beginning to realize that this approach has limitations. Many people can't access the drugs. Many people don't want to take the drugs. Many people start the drugs. They have to stop it for adherence and toxicity. And so in order for us to truly impact the epidemic in a durable manner, everyone now realizes we need a cure. Now, at the same time people began to realize that this is something we need, a couple things happened. One, there was a bone marrow transplant case, the so-called Berlin patient, that proved it's possible, and that has inspired everyone. And two, the biology of the virus is now much better understood, and this has led to the identification of potential drugs that may end up being curative. I think in order to be successful, we're going to need to do what we did with treatment, right? Treatment was this amazing, probably unique in medicine, collaboration between the funders, the NIH in particular, but other funders, community advocate and activists who had an equal say in what was happening, clinicians who actually paid attention and had respect to the ongoing research, patient population who was committed to being involved in this, a fully supportive industry that was willing to devote billions of dollars, often with potential for great loss, into developing drugs, and a platform, a strategy that allows all these groups to basically collaborate. We did it before, and I think with a cure, we'll do it again. I think clinicians on the front line seeing patients have a couple of very important roles. Number one, to dampen some of the hype. I think clinicians have seen this before and need to, if their patient's coming in saying, I want a cure, need to realize that this may prove to be impossible, and even if it's possible, it may take a very, very long time. So there's that. Two, I think the clinicians who are taking care of patients hopefully will be supportive of helping patients decide whether or not to go into these types of studies. And three, and I think it's very important, the studies that we're going to be doing in cure work are going to be risky. It's absolutely critical that patients absolutely be informed as to the potential risk and essentially the lack of any benefit, right? The first studies that are going to happen is all about risk. Right? These studies are going to be high risk. They're going to have potential benefit for the community at large, but no one's going to be cured in these early studies. And I think patients are going to need their own advocate that's separate from the clinical researchers to let them decide, is this study right for them? Because we really want people coming into this who are doing it because of the potential global good and who are fully aware of the risk and we want the patient's provider to be highly involved and supportive.